Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. We've got a few movies to review tonight. Watched a couple yesterday and as well this afternoon as well. So let's try to quickly finish all three reviews. Up first is 2018's Death Wish, which is a remake of the 1974 film Death Wish. This time it's directed by Eli Roth and stars Bruce Willis. The movie also stars Vincent D'Onofrio, Elizabeth Shue, who plays the wife of Bruce Willis's character, Dean Norris, and Kimberly Isles. I think that's how you pronounce her name. The daughter is played by, I think her name is Stephanie something. Anyway, she's an actress who I've never seen before. So Paul Kersley, Bruce Willis's character, is a successful surgeon in Chicago where the crime is supposedly being rampant. There are a lot of cases of murders happening. During one night, the house of and happens to be Paul's birthday. He is called away for an emergency, so they couldn't go out to celebrate. The mother and daughter are at home. There is a home invasion. A group of three criminals who's been kind of almost stalking the house, and they come in, they try to steal stuff. There is an altercation. The daughter tries to attack the guy who's semi-molesting her, I guess, and both the mom and the daughter the mother and daughter end up being shot. Now the mother is killed. Let me just put my phone on silent. I'm getting a lot of dings from WhatsApp and all the others. So the mother ends up getting killed. It's at the same hospital that Paul is working in, where his daughter and wife are brought in, and the daughter survives, but she's in a coma now. Paul, who's kind of left his he spent most of his life trying to heal. He is a very good surgeon, and now he finds himself getting upset at the fact that the cops are not able to. The lead detective is played by Dean Norris, who you would recognize from several TV shows like what was that? The Dome and Under the Dome, as well as I think he was also in Breaking Bad, which I have never watched till now. But anyway, so they aren't getting any major leads. There's way too many cases on the cops' desk. When Paul goes and he actually sees this. He decides to go and find ways to get, he thinks of going and buying a weapon. Initially he doesn't, but one night while he's walking on the streets, he finds two thugs trying to mug a young lady, and he intervenes, and he ends up getting his butt kicked. So he decides to take matters in his own hand. He teaches himself how to clean weapons, and he buys some weapons on the I believe there's one case where he finds a gun, hides the gun from a criminal who's brought to the hospital, and he uses that as well as some other weapons, and he tries to get information about the killers. So he starts beating up people, shooting people who are mugging innocent citizens on the street, and this is captured on mobile phones cameras. But because he's wearing a hood, people can't actually see his face. They start calling him the Grim Reaper, the hooded vigilante kind of thing. So he starts getting more and more confident of himself, and he starts tracking the people, and he manages to get all three, kill all three of them. So there's a lot of violence, a lot of shooting up. The cops do suspect Paul's brother. Paul's brother is played, like I mentioned, Vincent D'Onofrio. He is a street smart former baseball player who didn't make it to the major leagues, and has had some trouble with the law. So they kind of suspect him at first, but then later onwards their suspicion moves on to Paul with the description. But Paul has kept his he keeps his tracks clean, and he manages to create alibis for himself. And finally the daughter does come out of the coma. He manages to take her back to safety along with his brother, and then there's a fight. There's a lot of things the brother finds out, and he is very, very the cops also suspect him, and the brother is kind of shocked with this kind of lifestyle that Paul is going over. But he says, "I can't rest until I get the killers of my wife and the ones who put my daughter in a coma." So it's basically following a very similar plot line. Nothing major as such in this. So it's like just kind of kind of like by the numbers go. Bruce Willis doesn't crack us. He barely cracks a smile in this. I think this a couple of times, and there are no one-liners. It's one of the things that I find it very difficult to watch. Bruce Willis kicking ass, killing people, but not breaking out into one-liners. Some of the death scenes are really brutal. There's one scene where at the garage where he confronts one of the criminals, and so he gets this there's a lot of discussion going on as to should this guy be above the law, or is he actually doing something because the cops are finding it very difficult to protect the citizens because of the sheer number of crimes happening, as well as the cops are kind of like exhausted with the case flow that they're having. So 50% of the people are on his side, 50 people are against him, and that's basically the movie. So in the end, I liked a couple of things, the way he covers his tracks, and at the end, the lead detective played by Dean Norris, he knows that it's Paul who has set up everything and killed them, but it makes out towards the end that it's actually the criminals try to get into his house once again, and as a mode of defense, he had to shoot them dead. And his alibi checks out. The gun shop where he had actually gone to buy, which is a huge one, they say that he did come once, but he didn't buy anything from them. And then everything that they see as weapons over there is he bought very recently after his daughter and wife were shot. So Dean Norris's character does know that he is guilty, but there's nothing he can do about it, and he is actually a little bit of an admirer of this guy's work, but he knows that he's going to stop at this. So that is the movie, and like I don't know if they're planning to do kind of a reboot of the Death Wish movies. Are they planning on doing more? I have no idea. I've been trying to find out, but maybe. The movie was made on a budget of $30 million, and it made almost 50 million, 49.6 million at the box office. Now this is pre-COVID, so that is pretty low numbers. So you never know. Something like this could definitely make its money on the Blu-ray DVD market. I found it entertaining enough. It was pretty good. I wasn't bored at all. So I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. It was pretty enjoyable, and it is good to see an older Bruce Willis kick ass. So 7 out of 10 for me for Death Wish 2018, the reboot from the 1974 movie. See you in the next review pretty soon.